You know what time it is, ooh-wee! Here are 50 amazing facts to blow your mind. A Japanese fisherman lost his boat after the earthquake and tsunami that hit Japan in 2011. The boat ended up drifting across the Pacific Ocean with other tsunami debris and was found in Canada. It was here that it was repurposed to be used in bear watching operations. He was reunited with the boat in 2015. During the Axis occupation in Greece, a young Maria Callas, according to both her husband and her close friend, were pressured by her mother to go out with Axis soldiers in exchange for food and money. Maria never forgave her mother for forcing her into what she considered a type of lady of the night business. In 2015, a wine bar in the UK was fined £100,000 after a woman underwent life-saving surgery to have her stomach removed following her consumption of a liquid nitrogen cocktail. She had reportedly experienced an explosion in her stomach just 4 seconds after the drink was poured for her. The film director Uwe Boll, who infamously beat up 5 critics in boxing matches, chickened out of a fight against the internet critic Sean Baby when he learned that he knew Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Sean Baby quipped that Boll shied away when he learned he wasn't fighting a midget. Kofola is a carbonated cola drink created in the former Czechoslovakia. In contrast with its direct competitors, it contains 30% less sugar and 56% more caffeine. The leader of the Germans during World War II was fascinated by exotic foods and sent filmmakers to Mexico in 1936 to document pulque, a fermented agave drink known as the drink of the gods as part of their propaganda. September 11th is the National Day of Catalonia, commemorating the fall of Barcelona and the last stand of Catalans at the War of the Spanish Succession in 1714. A pharmacist diluted whatever I could dilute, including chemo drugs, killing over 4,000 people. That pharmacist, after being jailed, was released last year. The longest hole-in-one in PGA Tour history came in 2001. Andrew McGee made a 332-yard ace at TPC Scottsdale. It remains the only par 4 ace ever recorded on tour. The ball accidentally bounced off another player's putter on the green before dropping into the cup. Paying someone to do something that they already enjoy can actually make them enjoy it less. This is a finding known as the overjustification effect or motivation paradox. Martin Luther married Katharina von Bora, a former nun who he helped escape from her convent. Texas did away with the last meal request to death row inmates in 2011. In 2014, a 27-year-old man fell asleep in a hammock while camping in Kentucky. In the morning, his friends saw him get up and sleepwalk off a 60-foot cliff. However, a rhododendron bush actually broke his fall, therefore he had no life-threatening injuries. He didn't even know that he was a sleepwalker. We all have tiny crystals inside of our ears. They're made from calcium carbonate and they help with maintaining our balance. If they become dislodged, it can cause nausea and vertigo. The Belgian chemist Leo Baekeland, while trying to make a shellac substitute in 1907, accidentally invented Bakelite. It was the first fully synthetic plastic. Used to make everything from buttons to billiard balls, radios, and firearms, it launched the modern plastics industry. A Canadian engineer once built a Mjolnir replica that only the worthy could lift. It sensed the iron ring commonly worn by Canadian engineers, presented in a ceremony called the Ritual of the Calling of an Engineer, triggering an electromagnetic release so ring wearers could pick it up. The Dimetrodon is considered to be closer related to mammals than dinosaurs. The world's oldest recorded joke from 1900 BC is a saying of the Sumerians, who lived in what is now considered Iraq, and goes as follows. Something which has never occurred since time immemorial, a young woman did not fart in her husband's lap. Thomas Grasso, was executed in 95. For his final meal, he requested 24 mussels, 24 clams, a cheeseburger, 6 ribs, 2 milkshakes, and a pie, as well as strawberries and a can of SpaghettiOs as his last meal. His last words were, "I did not get my SpaghettiOs, I got spaghetti. I want the press to know this." Actor Brad Pitt founded the Make It Right Foundation after Hurricane Katrina, which rebuilt 109 homes in the lower 9th Ward of New Orleans. However, rot, mold, electrical fires, and gas leaks followed, leading to lawsuits over the poorly built structures. As of 2022, only 6 homes remained. After meeting at a dinner in 1837, French Prime Minister François Guizot and Princess Dorothea von Lieven became enamored and started writing to each other every day. In the next 20 years, they exchanged at least 5,000 letters. In Nicaragua, bull sharks can be found in Lake Nicaragua. The sharks came to the lake through the San Juan River. The Rocky Mountain Trench is a 1,000-mile linear valley running from Montana to the British Columbia-Yukon border, formed largely by geologic faulting. A South Korean woman holds the world record for the most failed attempts at a driver's license test. She finally passed in 2010 after spending well over $10,000 in total to take the test 960 times. Microsoft considered using a photo called Red Moon Desert as its default wallpaper for Windows XP. It was taken by Charles O'Rear, who also took the Bliss photo, ultimately chosen to be the default. Microsoft changed their mind after testers compared Red Moon Desert to, butts. The altar stone, the rock at the center of Stonehenge, was hauled 465 miles from the Orcadian Basin in northeast Scotland. In 2015, Belgium was blocked by France from issuing a €2 commemorative coin for the 200-year anniversary of the Battle of Waterloo. So Belgium decided to mint its own non-regulated €2.5 coins instead. Plato was sold into slavery when attempting to tell Dionysius, the tyrant of Syracuse, to change his ways and embrace moderation. He would later be ransomed by his friends. Even though Mona Lisa Vito wins the case in My Cousin Vinny by testifying that there was only 2 cars made in the 1960s with independent rear suspension, the screenwriter actually left out the Chevy Corvair. He thought no one would find out, but a high school friend called him out about it at the premiere. The Charlotte Hornets apologized after giving a child a PS5 only to take it away off camera and exchange it for a jersey. In a statement, the team said that the incident was an on-court skit that missed the mark, and that they would give the child the PS5 and a VIP experience to a future game. On the 11th of September 2001, a small Canadian town called Gander became a haven for thousands of airline passengers and crew stranded after the events on that day. Early iPhone users in the US who did not specify a billing preference were mailed incredibly detailed bills of around 50 to 100 pages long from AT&T. It itemized every data transfer, including background traffic for email, web browsing, and text messaging. One woman even got a 300-page bill. Theodore Streletsky, a former graduate student of mathematics at Stanford University, offed his advisor with a ball-peen hammer after spending 19 years pursuing a doctorate. Some deaf people use sign language in their sleep. In 2014, a Spanish language version of Breaking Bad called Metastasis was created with the same premise but happening in Bogota, Colombia. Instead of Walter White, the protagonist was Walter Blanco, played by Colombian actor Diego Truello. In 2014, the Australian fast food chain Hungry Jack's allowed customers to redeem prize-winning tickets from the McDonald's Monopoly game at their own restaurants. In 2017, Japan arrested a 74-year-old man who had committed over 250 burglaries dressed as a ninja. He avoided most surveillance but was seen navigating tight spaces and running on walls. 29% of male gamers prefer playing female characters, whereas only 9% of female players prefer playing male characters. In a typical core PC console game, about 60% of female avatars that you meet are played by a man. The Ivy League is officially an athletic conference, and the academic social prestige associated with these schools is technically secondary. The Revenge of the 47 Ronin was an event in Japan in which a band of Ronin, or lordless samurai, avenged the death of their former master. He was ordered to commit seppuku by a powerful official. After waiting for a year, they killed the official, suspended themselves, and committed seppuku. The current king of Norway, Harald V, is only the third king to ever rule over Norway since the country's independence from Sweden in 1905. His grandfather, Haakon VII, ruled as the first independent Norwegian king 518 years at that point, the most recent being Olaf IV, who died in 1387. The largest office building in the world is the Surat Diamond Bourse in India. It has more than 7 million square feet of floor space. The Macho Man, Randy Savage, played for the STL Canadiens and Cincinnati Reds before becoming a wrestler. The IG, or Internet Group, in 2001 was the most accessed news portal in Brazil. Due to the constant flurry of bad news, especially due to urban violence, they decided to institute the Good News Day, no bad news reported. The first day of the campaign was chosen to be September 11th, 2001. Sugar rushes aren't real and are actually just a psychological cultural effect of parental influence. Quentin Tarantino got the idea for Death Proof in 2007 from Sean Penn. One night, while sharing drinks, Tarantino said that he wanted to buy a Volvo because of its strong reputation for safety. But Penn suggested that he buy whatever car he wanted and then have a crew of stuntmen death-proof it instead. Creator of version control software Git, Linus Torvalds, once quipped about the name Git, which is British or English slang for an unpleasant or silly person. He said the following: "I'm an egotistical bastard and I name all my projects after myself. First Linux, now Git." There are shipwrecks that exist that sank facing downwards and now rest sticking vertically out of the sea floor. One such example is the HMS Victoria. Sean Connery had such a bad time on the set of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen in 2003 that it made him decide to retire from acting and publicly complain about the idiots that make Hollywood films these days. The actress and singer Julie Andrews, known for her leading roles in the 60s movies Mary Poppins and The Sound of Music, had her singing voice permanently destroyed in 1997 after a botched vocal cord nodule removal surgery. And that's it. Let me know what you guys thought of this video. If you enjoyed it or any of my videos, make sure you leave a like, a comment, and be sure to subscribe because you won't want to miss the next one. Thanks for watching.